Most organizations say they want agentic AI, but then they pick workloads that don't need agents at all. They start with chat, summarization, email drafting, and meeting notes. These workloads are safe and familiar, and they're not ambitious enough to change the business. Today, I want to talk about why that happens, why it's a mistake, and how to be more ambitious when selecting workloads for agentic workflows. Because if your AI work doesn't change how the business runs, it simply won't make a difference. Let's get one thing straight. Tasks are not processes. A task is summarize this, classify that, or answer a question. A process is order to cash, claims handling, onboarding, case resolution, or renewals. Tasks sit inside processes. Processes are what move money, time, and risk through the business. That's where real toil lives, and that's where the value is. Agentic AI only makes sense at the process level. If all you're doing is automating a single step, you don't need autonomy. The other day, someone proposed an idea to transform a manufacturer. It was a product summarization chatbot. Single shot LLM, no actions, no decisions, just summaries over product data. We scrapped it. Instead, we reworked the product planning process. We built an agent that could substitute supply materials based on real availability and constraints. That changed how the business ran. That improved throughput and resilience. And that delivered value. The explosion of large language models and chat-based interfaces was a real breakthrough a couple of years ago, but it's now largely normalized. Now, I'm not saying RAG on transformer models isn't valuable. In insurance, for example, when you're dealing with huge volumes of policy documents, it clearly is. But what I am saying is it's table stakes now. So why do smart teams keep gravitating to small task-based AI workloads? It's not stupidity, it's incentives and caution. A few reasons. First, they're easy to explain. Everybody understands a summary. Second, they demo well. 5 minutes, instant wow. Have you ever tried to demo a process-based agentic workflow? They're not exactly exciting to watch. They also avoid real systems. ERPs, CRMs, finance systems. Touching those is high risk, open heart surgery in the business, and people avoid it. A chatbot summarizing finance data is far easier than re-engineering the finance process itself. Next, they don't threaten existing roles or processes. People avoid conflict because it gets personal. The result is low disruption and low impact. And finally, they fit old delivery models. POCs, pilots, handoffs. People gravitate to what they're used to. And most importantly, they let teams say, we're doing AI, without changing how work actually flows. And that's the problem. So why does this kill agentic value? Agentic AI is about outcomes, reasoning, planning, acting and adapting. That's wasted on summarize this document. You don't need an agent for that. You just need an API to call a large language model. Agents earn their keep when they span multiple systems, make decisions, manage exceptions, lower cycle times and extract cost from the business. If the workload doesn't require autonomy, then you're over-engineering the solution and under-delivering on value. So what does an ambitious workload actually look like? Well, it usually has these traits. It spans multiple steps in a business process, whilst crossing systems of record. It also takes on decisions that humans currently make within guardrails. It reduces latency, not just effort, whilst having a clear owner and a measurable outcome. And finally, it works autonomously towards a goal. Some examples include resolving customer cases end-to-end, managing order exceptions, handling renewals, dispatching work, or triaging risk. These are messy, they're political, and they touch legacy systems. And that's why they matter. Now, the key is to ask better questions. Most teams ask, what tasks can we automate with AI? That question guarantees small answers and low value. Instead, ask which business process would be transformational if an agent could run it end to end. That single reframing wipes out most low-value use cases immediately. If the answer doesn't make a CFO lean forward, well then keep looking. Here's a simple filter you can use. Reject the workload if it only improves a single task, not a process, or doesn't touch a system of record. Leave processes that could be done by a macro or a rule, or won't change throughput, cost, or risk. If it doesn't force process re-engineering, then it's not worth it. If it fails those tests, it's not an agentic workload. A simple rule: if removing the AI doesn't break the process, it isn't agentic. Agentic AI often fails to deliver because teams lack ambition in what they apply it to. If the workload doesn't change how work flows through the business, it isn't agentic. Big value lives in big processes, and big processes require courage to change. That's where agentic AI earns its place. So remember, next time somebody asks you for an AI transformation, pause before coming up with yet another chatbot scenario. I'll see you next time.